Hi there, my name is Johnny Vinciu and I founded the Global Beer Network in 1994. One of the most famous Belgian beer icons is the Popering Hommel Ale, and I want to tell you all about it. The brewer is Brewery van Eke, located in the village of Watou, which is right in the middle of the historic hops region around the town of Poperinge, southern part of West Flanders, Belgium. The brewery is in the hands of the same family for over 200 years. The family name, Leroy, we would say Leroy. It was brewed in a hops region. And to honor that, the brewer used twice the normal amount of hops that you find in other Belgian beer. So indeed, this beer has a pleasing hoppiness, bitterness to it. The hops used are only hops raised on the farms around the brewery. That is a principle the brewer swears he will never abandon. For you homebrewers, the varieties of the hops are Gold and Hallertau, and the malt is a combination of summer and winter barley in their pale aromatic version. But let me go back to the hops region of Poperinge. Our famous beer hunter, the late Michael Jackson, had this to say about the beer in his typical poetic style. A rose-like flowerness, honeyish notes, orange zest, hops flavors, and a late spicy coming seed dryness. Ha! You all want one right now, I bet. But let me go back to the hops region of Poperinge. This region was probably the first region in the whole of Europe who dedicated itself exclusively to the cultivation of hops. Here is a story. In the late 1400s, the big nearby city of Ypres, Wipers in English, was able to convince the overlord to forbid the town of Poperinge to compete with Ypres in the production of textiles. Big disaster! But the local abbey saved the day, saved the region by helping the local farmers to switch to the cultivation of hops. Another very interesting aspect of the city of Poperinge is that they were the first town in all of Europe that installed a weigh station, an official weigh station for hops, and a quality control institute. So the seal on a bag of hops made it possible for brewers all over Europe to know exactly what they bought. This institute, the building, is still there in Poperinge, and it has been converted into one of the most beautiful museums about hops and the history of hops. When you are in Belgium as a beer lover, you have to go and visit this museum. Another interesting story about Poperinge is that the farmers of Poperinge introduced hops in England. Yeah, we were in the 16th century and there we had the Spanish Catholic army and the Inquisition killing almost all the Protestants. Now, the region around Poperinge was almost exclusively Protestant of the Calvinistic persuasion. So the farmers of Poperinge, they fled across the channel to England. Just at the right time when Henry VIII, the famous Henry VIII, was kicking out Catholics and inviting Protestants to come to his country. So the farmers of Poperinge, they settled southwest of London in the Kent region, brought their trade and started the cultivation of hops over there. Before this immigration, no hops was ever cultivated on the British Islands. Another last piece of information I need to give you is about the name Hommel, Popering Hommel Ale. Where does Hommel come from? Well, Hommel is the local dialect for hops. In Latin, hops means humulus. So the people of Poperinge, they believe very strongly that 2000 years ago, the Romans came for the first time in contact with hops and took the name, the local dialect name for hops, Hommel, and brought it into the Latin language. Interesting story. I don't know if it's true. It's up to you to believe it. So, now in the United States, you find the Popering Hommel Ale in beautiful small bottles and in a beautiful 750 bottle And look at this gift pack. Isn't that beautiful? So go out, find yourself a Poperinge Hommel Ale and go to your neighborhood pub and ask for it on draft. Cheers!